Look inside almost any modern corporate headquarters, and you will see the exact same setup. Whiteboards covered in sticky notes, expensive software subscriptions, expansive R&D labs, and usually a ping-pong table. We have built an entire corporate aesthetic around the idea of innovation. But there is a massive gap between motion and progress. All of that furious internal activity rarely translates into actual forward momentum. A company can file thousands of patents, launch endless prototypes, and hire the most highly credentialed minds in the industry, yet still leave the market completely unchanged. The trap is that organizations manage for internal activity. They measure success by how many projects are in the pipeline or how many ideas are generated in a meeting, rather than evaluating the external impact those projects actually produce. True value is created in the world outside the organization. If a new idea fails to alter customer behavior, change a process, or reshape an industry's expectations, it is merely an invention. Breakthroughs follow a specific probability distribution, rather than emerging as a happy accident in a meeting room. The most consistent trigger for a breakthrough is economic vulnerability. When demand outpaces profits, when processes become too expensive, when old formulas simply stop working, the market itself is asking for a new model. This chart shows the direct correlation between market constraints and successful breakthroughs. As the intensity of market pressure climbs, the probability of widespread change increases right alongside it. We can see this disciplined, market-driven approach clearly in the history of Bell Labs. They didn't achieve legendary status by simply trying to build a slightly better version of the existing hardware. Instead, they asked how the basic delivery of telephone services could change for the customer. That relentless focus on external constraints and customer needs led directly to breakthroughs like the invention of the transistor, shaping the foundations of modern computing. They didn't pursue research for its own sake. Those breakthroughs were a disciplined, systematic response to clear vulnerabilities in the market. Fast forward to modern corporate strategy. Almost every established organization has a plan for its current operations, heavily optimized for efficiency, reliability, and scale. There is inherent friction inside these companies. The logic of continuity, demanding better and more, collides with the logic of disruption, requiring new and different. Everything existing is aging. Markets shift, technologies commoditize, and old models eventually buckle under pressure. This pressure makes enterprise architecture a critical strategic tool. Effective architecture requires the discipline to choose which capabilities should evolve and which must retire. This rigorous culling prevents innovation from getting trapped under the weight of legacy commitments. Established enterprises often struggle to stop defending yesterday's successes. Shifting resources away from a comfortable present is a problem of courage and discipline, rather than a technical one. Creating the future is entirely inseparable from the active abandonment of the obsolete. That brings us to a massive operational paradox inside large companies, specifically concerning human resources. Leaders will enthusiastically praise their brightest minds, yet they keep those exact people anchored to the current profitable business because it seems far too important to disrupt. Building a new model is essentially building a second business. It demands an organization's absolute strongest talent. You cannot build a durable future using part-time hours or leftover resources. If you force new, experimental ventures to operate under the same metrics and constraints as the core, efficiency-driven business, they will destroy each other. The enterprise will naturally protect what is measurable and what currently pays the bills. The solution is structural autonomy. Experimental work requires an independent mandate, a space protected from the daily operational grind, fueled by continuous learning, humility, and the freedom to test the unknown. Without that structural protection and dedicated top-tier talent, the immense gravitational pull of daily operations will swallow the future every single time. Innovation remains a managed consequence of clarity and alignment. It functions as a deliberate choice to define value from the outside in, regardless of internal slogans or departmental structures. A lack of ideas is rarely the actual bottleneck. Progress is almost always blocked by legacy assumptions, weak incentives, and organizational designs that reward continuity over change. The most vital question for an enterprise is whether its management system is structurally capable of producing a future. Many systems are designed to reward continuity, which effectively blocks transformation. Organizations that survive tomorrow systematically organize for change right now. They actively abandon their past before the world forces them to do so.